Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo, hop on the Chat Nook, choo. On the Chat Nook, choo-choo, hop on the Chat. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat Nook, hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo, hop on the Chat Nook, choo. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo, hop on the Chat. Hop on the Chat.
Hello everybody, how are you doing? And welcome to the Chat Nook. I'm Christine Deaton and I'm ready to chat with you guys. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. We got some things to talk about. Now I want to kind of do something fun, something we haven't tried yet. I thought might be just, an easy way to have a nice Sunday afternoon and do something a little light and a little fun. But today, I always want to start with the Nancy Guthrie case because, as you know, we're in the 8th week of her disappearance. And 8 weeks, that's a long time to just have nothing. Have absolutely nothing. So, I've been thinking about this, and I've been watching a lot of reports and my go-to people and watching what they're saying. And they bring on a lot of guests who are in the FBI or, they had a guy on today that was something to do with, like, he's in charge of the sheriff department or whatever in Pima County, which is in Arizona. And so, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, but then in 1975, I moved to Arizona, and we lived in Pinal County, which is it's Pima and then it's Pinal. And so, we've got a connection there. As a matter of fact, I have an uncle who has lived in Tucson for probably, 50, 60 years, who a retired attorney in Tucson. And so we have that connection. So when this whole story with Nancy Guthrie happened, it kind of hit home, literally. And then, of course, at the same time, if you remember, my mom became very ill. And so we were worried about my mom and they're worried about their mom. And so there was this connection. So that's why I think I've had such a passion for this story. So watching all this news, which there's no new news in this case, no answers, no suspects that we know about. We just there's nothing. You don't want to say it's a cold case, but that's what it's feeling like. But I kind of went back a little bit listening to the other reports, and Sheriff Nanos, who is the Pima County Sheriff, okay? If you look back on everything that he did in this case, he blew it. He blew it. He had so many opportunities to, I can't say he didn't take it seriously. I think that it was out of his league. Frankly, I think it was just something he'd never done before, that this was a famous person's family. She's been abducted in the middle of the night. She's 84 years old. All these things. And he's like, wait, what? And I think that he blew it. He blew it over and over and over again. Every time he would talk to the media, he would say one thing and then he'd retract and say another thing. And this has been ongoing. And then when the FBI came in, supposedly, he was a little resistant, but then I think he realized, I don't have a choice. I can't figure this one out. One of the biggest mistakes he made at the very, very, very beginning, I'm talking 30 hours after the abduction, he said that the house was no longer a crime scene and just opened it up. And I'm like, look, I'm not a sheriff, I'm not a deputy, I'm not a professional sleuth, but even in my capacity, I know you don't do that. Yeah, you're not even close to a solution here, and here we are 8 weeks out and still nothing. So he really blew it. And now people are watching him like crazy. He's worldwide famous, not for good reasons. And people are just scrutinizing everything that he's doing, including, he goes to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. He's working out, and he lives in like a little mansion in Tucson, and he's living the life. He's famous now. And I'm like, yeah, but you still didn't solve a crime. So to me, he made so many mistakes that I believe, had he not made so many mistakes, this abduction of Nancy Guthrie might even be solved at this point. But he just did too many things wrong, way too many things wrong. And here we are. Hi, Ash. I see you out there. And here we are with no solutions. This family has no peace. No peace. So in these 8 weeks, Savannah Guthrie, there was rumor, and I guess it was true because Ashley Banfield talked about it on her show, that Savannah Guthrie was going to sue, maybe still is, I don't know, was going to sue her because she kept referring to Savannah's brother-in-law, Tommaso, as a suspect. Well, the fact is that he was a suspect. As a matter of fact, the whole family was, until you figure otherwise. So he was a suspect, okay? I think what Savannah needs to be doing, and I'm just looking from the outside in, you need to be suing the sheriff. The sheriff who did so many things wrong, that perhaps had he really known what he was doing, or maybe brought in people from the get-go, say, be honest, man up and say, I don't know what to do with this case. Instead of doing that, he did everything wrong. And I think he prevented this whole thing from being solved. Okay, so 8 weeks out, still no answers. We really have no idea. Now they know that somewhere in the area of Nancy's home, there was a rental home that they believe that the perpetrator was renting there, and that he may have been there for a while just watching. So, had the sheriff, really stepped in and really said, okay, what do we got here? Oh, we got a house rental right here. Let's see who's been renting that. There are so many things that could have been done. And I said, who am I? I'm not a sleuth or anything, but I'm telling you that there were too many things that he just either had no clue what to do with, or just said, some famous people and they'll figure it out or something. I don't know. But I do know that, Nanos, let me tell you, you're screwed up, and you might be the reason that this is 8 weeks out and nobody knows where Nancy Guthrie is. What a horrible, horrific plight this has been for the Guthrie family. So let's keep praying for them. And I will tell you a little bit about, Chris found this out today, that Nancy Guthrie, now did she work for the U of A poison control?
Well, she was involved with the U of A, I guess in different capacities, but okay. I don't know if she was directly an employee of the university or just involved with like projects. Foundation
or something.
Foundation.
So apparently, Nancy Guthrie had something to do with the University of Arizona Poison Control Center. And at one point, they were going to have to shut down. There was no money to support the Poison Control Center. And Nancy Guthrie went out and she found money. Sometimes people that have money know people with money, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how she found it, but she got money that kept the Poison Control Center open. It's still open to this day. And obviously with a Poison Control Center Open, you save thousands of lives. So that's part of Nancy Guthrie's legacy. And wow, that's a big one. All right, let's move on to another thing in the news right now. And then we're gonna have some fun. Okay. 2008, September, this show comes on TLC, and it's 19 Kids and Counting. First of all, people, 19 kids. I mean, I had 3, and they're beautiful, wonderful people, but I had 3 because I didn't want 4, and I didn't want 10, and I didn't want 50. I wanted 3 children. That's enough. That's a lot, right? 19 kids and counting. Okay. So they're this fundamentalist religious sect, okay? And you watch the kids from 2008, they're all growing up. In between, she's having the other babies, you know. Hello, Elizabeth, how are you, honey? And so she has lots of babies. She already had lots of babies and had babies, okay? And so we watched because it was like, wow, this is like a mom and a dad, same couple, have 19 children. But it was always interesting to me because, you know, they had to cook for 21 people. You know, you got the mom, the dad, 19 kids. And it was like, you know, sometimes I found it hard to cook for 5 people, and they're cooking for 21 people, 3 meals a day. Homeschooled, you know, seemed to be very simple, very reverent people, raising their children right. You know, that's what we all were led to believe. And then all of a sudden, we find out that the oldest son, Josh, is a pedophile. That this guy has child pornography all over his computer. He's a perv. At this point, now remember, at this point, he was married. He married Anna, who was, I believe, in the same religious sect, okay? They get married. They start having babies. As a matter of fact, Josh and Anna had 7 children. And what happens is somehow, some way, they find out that this guy's a perv. And as of now, he's serving time in prison. I believe he got, like, I don't know, 12 years or something like that. He's in prison serving his time for being disgusting. Well, this week, you know, sometimes you're looking at Facebook or news or wherever you get your news, and you see something pop up and you think, no way. You know, somebody's just doing that to, like a phishing thing to kind of get you in. And then I start seeing another one, and another one, and another one. I'm like, wait a minute. So now, the younger brother, who is the 7th in line of the Duggar children, Joseph Duggar, he is accused of lewd and lascivious acts on a 9-year-old little girl. Now, this was in 2020, okay? So now the girl is a teenager, okay? And apparently, at some point recently, she decided to say, hey, this happened, okay? So they do an investigation. Now, I'm going to say this, but I don't know if this is 100% true. So if I'm not, just let me know. If it's not true, let me know. That this 9-year-old girl was his wife, Kendra's little sister. Now, it made sense to me because in all my reading on this and everything, they were on some kind of big family outing. So why would this kid be there if it wasn't, she's not a Duggar kid. So they were just this big giant family outing, and he decided to be disgusting with this little 9-year-old girl. Of course, she was scared to death and didn't say anything for a long time. And then she told her father. Her father goes to Joseph and questions him. And you know what Joseph did? He said, yes, I did. So he gets arrested. So it's just two of the 19 that, okay, you know, let's think about this. But now after this happens, okay, his wife, Kendra, has also been arrested for, now let me see here, endangering the welfare of minors and false imprisonment. Now, I've looked up false imprisonment. When you are doing something to children and you don't let them go, even when they say, stop, I want to go, whatever that is, however you keep them contained in a room, on your lap, wherever it is, that is called false imprisonment. And you can get in a lot of trouble for that, which Kendra has. So they're both under arrest. They have 3 children among them too. So I'm like, next generation, you've got 10 kids between the 2 brothers. It just makes you sick to your stomach, and you wonder. But here's the other thing. You know, if you go back on the history of the show, when all this stuff came out with the older brother, Josh, he did things to his own sisters. So what does this all mean? I mean, what it means is that I think that sometimes when you're in this kind of a religious cult, which that's me talking, guys. That's my opinion. Religious cult. You tend to just turn everything to God. And when things come up that shouldn't be happening, you kind of turn a blind eye. And God will fix this. And that's kind of sort of what they did with Josh. Let's pray. Let's pray for him. The other thing is that I think that they were so sheltered. They didn't go to school. You know, they worked around the house. They all had chores. They all had a buddy system. So if you were an older, you had a younger kid. They did all this in the home. So socially neglected. Okay? And so maybe this is like a phenomenon with families that are ruled by religion and have lots and lots of children. And, you know, I don't know, but I do know that all that holiness and pureness and all that stuff that they presented to TLC, which, as you probably know, TLC said, what? You're off. Bye-bye. You know, there were a lot of demons living in this gentle, sweet little Duggar village. So what's going to happen with Joseph? Well, first of all, they're protecting Joseph, which I think is a bunch of BS. You know, he's in jail, but they're keeping him isolated so that the other inmates don't, you know, the other inmates get upset when you're a child molester. And they have him isolated because they don't want anything to happen to Joseph. Well, I'm like, throw him in there, man. I mean, that's just me. But, like, I get it. You know, do we perpetrate violence? Do we, you know? But sometimes, man, I don't know. And maybe my brain shouldn't go there, but I have no tolerance for people that do things to children. And I think you shouldn't be protected in any way. Now, what do you guys think about that? I would like your opinion. Hey, don't forget, while we're talking and stuff, like and subscribe to the Chat Nook, because that helps me a lot. Each episode we've done, this is what, number 5 or 6?
I don't recall.
It's 5 or 6.
Yeah,
it's one of the 2.
6.
we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people watching. You may not watch it this moment, but what does it say? Hold on. The cousin, read that about the cousin.
The cousin Amy just recently has a book come out. Okay. In it, she says that they had rules for the grandfather, Jim Bob's dad. Hang on, let me open this up. He apparently perpetrated on the sister.
Jim Bob's dad, Jim Bob the Duggar dad, his father is what now?
They had rules
for
the grandfather. I don't know if they were I don't know if the kids were supposed to not
stay away from him
alone or something like that. Elizabeth doesn't say, but that's what she says about Jim Bob's dad. I just read something a moment ago too where.
Wait, I want to touch on that.
Okay, go ahead.
So Amy Duggar, who is the niece of Jim Bob Duggar, she's got a tell-all book coming out, or is out. And she's got a story in there about Jim Bob's dad, apparently, and the kids were warned to stay away from him. Really? Okay, now what? What were you saying?
I just saw an article where apparently, who is it that's being charged? This latest one, is it Joseph?
Joseph is, yes.
His wife is actually also being charged as well.
That's what I said. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Kendra's been charged.
Right.
But Kendra's, whatever you want to call it, her arrest, is not related to his arrest. It's a separate case. So, excuse me? Are you all sick people?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different case, endangering the welfare of a minor and false imprisonment. She's being charged with that on a separate case. He, on the other hand, is having to go back down to Florida to be charged because this family trip happened in Florida. And so right now he's in Arkansas, where they're from. So they're going to take him down to Florida. I hope the laws are crazy strict in Florida and we put a stop to this Duggar dynasty that's disgusting. Duggar dynasty disgusting. That's what I think. I get a little heated with stuff like this because I have no tolerance for people that do stuff. Although I do think, and I'm not making excuses by any means, but I think that the way they grew up, they were stunted. Maybe they really didn't get normal teen years, or nobody talked about feelings. I mean, who knows what they went through? All they saw was mom and dad having a baby every minute, and come on now, people. Anyway, corner drugstore or something. Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna move on from the Duggars because I want to punch them in the face right now. So we're just gonna move on. All right. I want to do something right now because by golly, that gets me heated up. So I am a classic sitcom fanatic. As a matter of fact, when I wake up every morning, sit my rear end on the couch, and the first thing I do is put I Love Lucy on. Now, I Love Lucy has been my favorite show since I was a tiny kid. I Love Lucy came out in 1951, which was 8 years before I was born. But when I was old enough to sit, and I remember being in our railroad flat in Brooklyn, New York, and in the kitchen we had this white cabinet, and on top of the cabinet in the kitchen was a TV. And I'm talking, a little TV, not like these big giant, 70-inch whatever. I'm talking a little black and white, TV that sat on top of the counter. And I would watch I Love Lucy. I mean, every time it came on, I watched it. And I became an I Love Lucy fanatic. And so through the years, now I don't do this anymore because after a while, even collectors don't collect anymore. But I collected well over 300, 350, 400, I don't know, items of I Love Lucy things. And as a matter of fact, in my storage room, collecting dust in Arizona is my I Love Lucy collection. And it's probably worth a fortune to someone, because some of those pieces are the I Love Lucy dolls, and you can't even get that stuff anymore. You can't get them. And it's probably worth a lot of money. Anyway, that's not why I collected it. But I've always been an I Love Lucy fanatic. There's very little about I Love Lucy that I don't know. Okay? So I would like you guys to challenge me while we're on right now and ask me an I Love Lucy question. And if you stump me, I will be totally shocked. I think Chris will be shocked too. But I want to go over some other shows that I loved. And I want you guys to chime in and tell me what your favorite shows. Some of you aren't old enough, but these shows are still around. I want you to tell me what shows, classic TV shows of the 50s and 60s did you like? Who were your favorite characters? So here's my list. I Love Lucy, Andy Griffith, Leave It to Beaver, The Donna Reed Show, Hazel, which I've been watching a lot of Hazel at night lately, Bewitched, that's 60s, Dream of Jeannie, I Dream of Jeannie, The Munsters. Probably, of all the shows back then, I Love Lucy's one, Andy Griffith 2, The Munsters 3. I know everything about The Munsters also. You can't stump me on The Munsters. Addams Family. Love the Addams Family. F Troop. How many people out there remember F Troop? Do you remember the song of F Troop? Gilligan's Island. Green Acres. Green Acres to me is one of the funniest shows that was ever written. Like literally. And underrated. That show was so clever. Petticoat Junction, I've got that on my list right here. Petticoat Junction. Beverly Hillbillies, That Girl, Marlo Thomas, and Petticoat Junction. See, I do have that. So all of these shows I absolutely love. It would be almost impossible, because I can get stumped, for you to ask me a question. What are you saying?
That's an easy one, but we'll get it started. It says, what was the name of Lucy's friend that came to visit her in Hollywood, and what was the
Carolyn Appleby.
What was the actress's name who played her?
And Carolyn Appleby was Doris Singleton. You can't stump me. You can't stump me.
An easy one.
You can't stump me. That is an easy one. That's a very easy one, and I want you guys out there to try to stump me. And if you do, I'm going to be kind of almost grateful, because, you know, sometimes your old brain, it's like the stuff's in there and kind of locked, but if it gets really locked, then you need to help me pull that out of there, because this is literally, I couldn't tell you hated Hogan's Heroes. Oh, God, so did I. Never watched. I mean, I can't say I never watched it. I gave it a try years ago when it first came out. Hated every minute of it. Didn't think it was funny. Didn't like Bob Crane. You know, just not funny. Richard Dawson, all those guys, not funny. That's 2 thumbs down. Anyway, but these shows that I just told you about they're so wholesome and great and funny. Now, I will tell you, on I Love Lucy and the Andy Griffith Show, the first season of both of them, not my favorite. But it was almost like, because they were unprecedented kinds of shows. And so I think as they went along, they were learning a lot. They learned what really is funny, what's not funny, and humor changed a lot. If you look at I Love Lucy from season 1 to her final season, number 7, the humor was very different. It got way funnier as they went into the final season, where Lucy moves to the country and she raises chickens and she got the eggs. Do you know that the episode where Lucy puts eggs in her shirt to try to get them out to the hen house so Ricky and Fred don't get rid of all the chickens? That was all real. All the eggs were real. And to this day, to this very day, that is the longest laughter, live laughter on any show in history. Little trivia for you.
You have 2 more questions.
I have 2 more
You
questions.
do.
Okay.
Elizabeth put one up, and I did another one. Elizabeth says, who played the neighbor on the stoop that said goodbye to the Ricardos when they were leaving for California?
It was Mrs. Trumbull. Keep going!
And
Come on!
I'll throw the who was the actress.
Oh, that was Patterson. Give me a second. Her last name is Patterson. Her first name was... oh, you're not going to stop me. I won't allow it. Anyway, talking about Patterson, I believe that her granddaughter, or it might have been great-granddaughter, Melody Patterson, who played Wrangler Jane in F Troop, I think it was her granddaughter. Okay?
Wow.
So, yes, but her last name is Patterson. Give me a minute, I'll come up with it. Patterson.
Okay.
I got to look at it. What's the other one?
The other one is, what was the name of the town in Europe that Fred accidentally sent the band to, and where were they supposed to go?
They were supposed to go to Lucerne, and they went to... You're going to stop. You know what it is? I'm under pressure. I'm on live. Lucarno. I got it. I got it. Just that's what I said. Just give me a minute. And Patterson, her first name was... keep going with questions, though. I'll come up with it. I'll come up with it. I do know her last name was Mrs. Trumbull. Was played by I don't know. Gosh, I can't believe I can't come up with it. Anyway, 90%, 99% of the time I'm there. As a matter of fact, I find it. Chris finds it funny that I know the bit actors, the actors in the background, that nobody knows who those people are, but I do. The 3 main back actors on I Love Lucy were Hazel Pierce, Barbara Pepper, and Bennett Green was the man that was in everything. What does that say?
Elizabeth said her favorite episode was the one with Rock Hudson. We just saw that one. That was hysterical. That was a hysterical scene.
You shouldn't let a little come between you.
And I said, what was the name of all the girls in Petticoat Junction?
You mean their stage names? Like the character names? Billy Joe, Betty Joe, and Bobby Joe.
Oh, that was
what else you want to know?
I would.
I know this
What
stuff.
was the uncle's name?
Uncle Joe, played by Edgar Buchanan.
Okay.
You guys, seriously, I can't. Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, and Betty Joe, Elizabeth. Mm-hmm. Now, see, here's the thing: is I was saying any recent shows, and I'm talking recent from like 1990 on. I don't know. I don't know. That's why when they do like the Academy Awards or the whatever the awards are for TV shows, I don't watch any of that because I don't know any of the shows. The CSI and NCIS, and I don't watch anything. If I'm watching something other than a movie, I'm watching classic TV. That's what I love. That's what calms me. Okay, it centers me, and I love classic TV, and that is why I am such a classic TV nut. I really am. Okay, go ahead.
So, you may have said this already in conversation. I was paying attention to other things, but I said, what were the names of the 2 main characters on F Troop and the actors that played them?
So, Larry Storch played Agarn, Corporal Agarn, and Forrest Tucker played Morgan. What was his name? Let me think. He played Captain Morgan, I think was his name.
Captain Morgan.
Captain, not the drink, but he was Morgan was his last name on that. But I also know that Frank DeCava played the chief. I got it. Melody Patterson again. She was Mrs. Trumbull's.
Right.
Probably, I would say. No, that was just later. So probably her granddaughter, Melody Patterson, was her granddaughter. I loved the Addams Family, and then when I see all this new Addams Family stuff, I'm like, you know what? They don't hold a candle to John Astin, Carolyn Jones, Ken Weatherwax, Lisa Loring, Blossom Rock, Jackie Coogan. Those are the original cast people of the Addams Family, and nobody can hold a candle. I don't care all this new stuff with Wednesday and all that stuff. Lisa Loring as Wednesday Addams was the cutest, sweetest little things on TV. And then when they made, even though Wednesday in the original show had like a little black dress and, you know, had her hair, but they were kind of this macabre family anyway, but they weren't dark. It was just funny and it was light, and then they made Wednesday so dark, and I'm like, anyway, where's Lisa Loring when you need her? You know what I'm saying? And Ken Weatherwax is that little chubby, you know, Pugsley. How cute was he? And, you know, he was just, and Blossom Rock as Grandmama. I mean, these people were amazing. Some of them you never heard of again, like Blossom Rock and Ken Weatherwax. But they were so good in those roles. And every time they tried to recreate the Addams Family, I'm like, get out of here. I see something up there. What are you saying?
What were the names of the sons on My Three Sons?
Okay, so here's the thing. That wasn't one of my faves. So Chip was the middle son. Robbie was the oldest boy. And then the youngest was, he was played by Barry Livingston. I knew his real name. See if I can come up with his and I know William Frawley, Fred Mertz, played after I Love Lucy was over. He went to My Three Sons and he was the grandfather. He played the grandfather. Hey, look up Patterson. I can't come up with her. Melody was the granddaughter, and her name was, I don't remember. Anyway, we just wanted to have a little fun today on my show, and I really do want to talk to you guys about, what's her name? Elizabeth! Oh, I have a daughter named Elizabeth. I should have known that. Yes, that is it, Elizabeth Patterson. I don't know how I forgot about that. Now, if you would have asked me on another day, I would have gone like that. But anyway, while you're watching me, like and subscribe. And I also would like you to start sharing my show. Just tell people when we're coming on at 2 o'clock to watch the show. And if you can't watch it now, if people have lives and they're doing other things, that's okay. When you watch it on Facebook later on, or after Chris edits things and puts it on YouTube, then watch it there and like and subscribe and share. And
you can continue to comment on,
right, you can,
that's
right,
in the section and comment on the videos. Right. And so put new questions out there for Try and Stumper on these things.
Right.
And you can do the same thing on YouTube channel. So both of them, we'll be watching those, and we want you to just continue to put stuff out there, comment on our subjects, and ask questions.
Right. And you're saying, who was Richie's older brother, which he was only on the show like for a second, right? Mm-hmm. And I can see the guy's face, but now remember when Happy Days first came out, now I love Ron Howard, obviously, loved Ron Howard. Fabulous child actor. But I didn't watch Happy Days right away. I didn't watch it right away. So I do remember him being on the show, and his name was, I don't know. That one, that's a stump word, because I don't know.
Well, and that's a little bit later.
And it was 70s. That was 70s, and I wasn't huge on the 70s sitcoms. I came more into sitcoms a little bit in the 80s. I watched stuff because we had kids by then, and the girls were watching stuff. But I wasn't big on the 70s sitcoms. So I would say I should know his name, but I don't. What's his name?
Chuck.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Okay, the other thing I want to tell you is do not forget that I have a cooking show that I want people to still watch. We made those for a reason, and that's because you are going to learn all of my Fast, easy, delicious. Fast, easy, delicious. Fed up. Fast, easy, delicious. Cooking. So just recently I had someone tell me that they wrote to me and said, so I wanted some dessert the other night, and I didn't want to go to the store. I didn't want to have a store-bought dessert. So I took out your cookbook and I made your peach cobbler. And it was fantastic. And so, she said, I put it together because everything that I do in these cookbooks is done. And so she said, I put it together, threw it in the oven. By the time we finished dinner, it was ready. We had hot peach cobbler for dessert. That's what these cookbooks are all about. I've got 3 of them, guys, 3 of them. And not one recipe is the same. Wasn't his name Richie? Richie was Ron Howard.
He was the man.
But he had, when the series first started, he had an older brother named Chuck. Chuck didn't last very long.
I think he was in maybe
He didn't last very long.
Episode,
yeah, he was, I don't know why, but I'm glad because he was a big dud. But he was gone. Anyway, the other thing I was going to tell you, same thing, another cobbler story. So I am a proud member of the local Lions Club. Woo-hoo! And so we have 2 meetings a month, and the other day was our Thursday night meeting. And so I decided to bring peach cobbler. And I made a big one. I made a big peach cobbler because there's usually a lot of people at these meetings. And so we're at the meeting, and Chris and I had people coming to our house. I had to leave the Lions meeting earlier so that I could get here because we were having company that night. And I thought, well, whatever cobbler's left, I'll just bring the rest of it home to the company. How about there was none left? But what I thought was funny was that the president of the club, after we ate, we were going to get ready for the meeting, and he stood up and he said, "Who made that peach cobbler?" And I said, "I did." And he said, "I love you." He said, "You can bring that to every meeting from now on." So that peach cobbler, right in here. Get my cookbooks. Really, you're going to love them. Okay, who was the neighbor that showed up? Oh, so Lionel. But it was the Sanfords. No, Isabel Sanford. It was they had the spin-off of
yes.
It was Isabel Sanford and Lionel. Lionel was Rob Reiner's friend, Meathead's friend. And they were, oh my gosh. Well, we're moving on up to the east side. That's where they got their spin-off from, was All in the Family. Yep. So Isabel Sanford, what was the guy's name? Sherman Hemsley.
Yes. Yes.
There you go. And their show was that's the show. You gotta give me a second here. Anyway, they got the spin-off from All in the Family because people just fell in love with their characters. And then remember who else was on the show was Isabel, what's her name? Florence. She was the maid.
Yes.
Okay, Marcia Gibbs. I know her name too. I just can't think of the show right now. And moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Come on, what's the name of the show?
The Jeffersons.
The Jeffersons. Anyway, the Jeffersons were Archie Bunker and Edith Bunker's neighbors. And they got the spin-off from All in the Family. Hello, Alan. Thank you for joining us today. We've had a great Chat Nook today, and we're talking about classic TV shows. I said it is really, really hard to stump me when it comes to classic TV 50s and 60s shows. It's really, really, really hard to stump me. You can try, but you probably won't succeed. Okay, don't forget to watch my Cooking Nook on YouTube, okay? And go to videos. We've got over 80 cooking videos. And I kind of, like the episodes, whatever I want you to like and subscribe to all my stuff just so that I know you're out there watching. And then I want you guys to give me ideas of what we need to chat about. This is the Chat Nook. We can chat about anything you want to talk about. If you go to each one of my shows that I've done already on the Chat Nook, everyone is, except for the couple of news things that I like to touch base with. It's been different every time, and that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to talk about all kinds of things, and if you've got something on your mind or on your heart and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it, because that's what I want to do. That's the whole premise of this show, is the Chat Nook. Let's chat together. Okay, again, like and subscribe, but I'm also going to ask you to share, because that helps me a lot to really get a big audience. We each Chat Nook so far, we're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of views. So I want to thank you guys for liking what we're doing. It's really cool, but make sure you are liking it by liking and subscribing. It costs you absolutely nothing. Just go click. Okay. The other thing is, I'm going to end the show today a little early, but my mom, guys, has been placed in hospice, and she is not doing well. And so we're asking all of you to please pray for her. She's just not okay. Luckily for my mom, she made peace with the world and everything. Not that she really had to, but I'm just saying, for her inner peace, she loves God, loves heaven. My dad's up there. He's been waiting for her since 2012. And so, just pray. Her journey so far has not been easy. It's been very hard to watch. And so, you just pray for her that the rest of her life, whatever is left, is calm and beautiful and no more stress. So that's what I wish for her. I wish that for everybody. And let's keep thinking and talking about Nancy Guthrie, because I said at the same time that Nancy Guthrie went missing, that's when my mother got sick, so it kind of hit home for me. And so, I wonder every day, I look every day about information, hopefully some kind of an answer. Either way, hi Josh. Thank you very much, praying for Mom. Yeah. And you just hope that the family has some kind of resolve. Whatever it is, at this point, they just need to know what happened to their mother. So what I will say one more time is the sheriff in Pima County screwed up big time. He fouled the whole investigation big time. And I think if Savannah and her family are wanting to sue anyone, they need to be doing that. That's the lawsuit. And as far as suing Ashley Banfield or whoever else, I mean, at this point, suing, I don't know. But I think that we should be thanking those people that are still trying to keep this public and trying to find out instead of just letting it go, like to the wayside. So anyway, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous Sunday. I'm going to have a great day, what's left of it, because I'm going to go visit my mom for a little while and see how she's doing. And we appreciate anybody tuning in, listening to me chat. And I really enjoy doing this. I would still be cooking, except that my illnesses have made it so that it's really hard for me to stand for any periods of time. So, but I can sit and chat all day long. I just want you guys to chat with me and enjoy the talk. So I appreciate you being here today. Don't forget to write in the comments, even if you're watching this later on, just any classic TV stuff that you want to ask me. I'd love to go back and answer those, because I love that challenge. And trust me, I am a classic TV buff. I want you to stump me. So there you go. I will, Josh. Thank you so much. Hey, go back and watch the show. It was a good one today. Lots of information about Nancy. Well, not lots of information, but an update on Nancy Guthrie, about Josh Duggar of 19 and Counting, and of course my classic TV trivia. I loved doing that, and if you guys have ideas for my next show, will you please let me know. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you next Sunday at 2 o'clock. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.
Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo. On the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat Nook. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo. Hop on the Chat Nook, choo-choo. Hop on the Chat. Hop on the Chat.